We have moved outside now to the gorgeous veranda here at the flower shop. How do you come up with all of this? You truly are a creative genius, I gotta say.
Come on, it's a team effort, but every year we have a huge open house for our customers, and I can't help myself. I have to make the outside of the flower shop crazy beautiful.
Well, then it only makes sense that we have come to you for excellent outdoor ideas when it comes to decorating the house for the holidays.
Yeah.
So where are we gonna start? With a wreath?
Sure.
Okay, so we've got the base of a wreath here.
Yeah, when you purchase a pre-made bare wreath base, they're usually constructed on a wire like this. When we do them from scratch ourselves, we start them on a grapevine base, but either one will work. The idea is that you take little clumps of materials, you bind them together, and then every clump is picked in until you've got the shape
Right, so
that you want.
all of this cedar is bound onto here?
It is.
Wow, how long does that take?
Oh, that would take an hour or so.
Okay, and so from here, how are we attaching the little apples?
Okay, so the apples, for example, I use wooden skewers and just break the skewer to a reasonable size. Because the greenery is packed in so tight, you can usually just insert the fruit or berry or whatever into that denseness of the branches, and it'll stay in there.
Oh, how neat.
So then you can see that I've done the same with some various berries. These are rose hips, and we'll do the same. We'll push them in until they're in a place where we think that they're pretty.
And you've attached them together using...
Florist tape.
Okay, the florist tape.
Yeah, so basically bind it first with a bit of wire, fine wire, and then cover it with the florist tape.
Okay.
And then basically put it where you want it to be. Now, one of the things to remember when making a wreath, one of the mistakes I think a lot of people when making a wreath is that they kind of put material all over the place. Everything goes everywhere, and all of a sudden it just looks like a big mishmash.
Yeah.
If you color block your material, or if you put it in heavy groupings like this, you end up with a much more pleasing piece to the eye because you've got heavy groups of material instead of salt and pepper thrown on the kitchen table.
So now I know you do custom orders. If I were to call in and say I want a specific type of wreath with a certain fruit or berry or flower, could you make that for me?
Absolutely. In fact, back here you can see an example of one of the custom ones that we did the other day. These are all made of moss and flowers. Yeah. Wow. So if you were to put that type of thing up now, that's going to look great right through until the new year. And it's nice because if you put it up at this time of year, it's not so like in your face Christmas. It's more like a beautiful winter thing.
Right.
As opposed to something that's all completely red.
And you actually made all of the different pieces that we see behind us, and coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll actually tell you how Joanne did that. But the wreath, the finished piece, is going to look something like what we've got on the wall over here.
It's going to be nicer than that one. That's a similar idea, though. You can see how that's got lots of berries, many different kinds of pine cones, and then interspersed with the Peruvian cedar on that one.
Right. And where do you get all of the ingredients, if you will, for the wreaths?
Well, anybody can buy them from us. I source them from all over the world. I try and buy as much as I can from Canadian micro farms. Yeah. Some of the cones, even my customers bring them into us, which is really awesome.
Really? Manatic cones?
Manatic cones. Nothing but the best.
Of course. Well, a little bit later in the show, like I said, we'll talk more outdoor holiday decorations, but things that are appropriate to go out now and will last right through past the holiday season.
Perfect.
Stick around. There's still lots more on TV Morning Live.